Good evening, everyone. January 7th, 2026, Easton Historic Commission called to order.
Thank you. Okay, 6:35. So we have to do a couple of things because it's a remote meeting. First is the remote meeting procedures. This meeting will be conducted remotely over Zoom. Attendance by board and commission members will be remote, and remote attendance shall count toward quorum. The meeting may be broadcast live and will be recorded on ECAT, which reminds me, let me start our recording as well.
Recording in progress.
There we go. While conducting meetings remotely, we will endeavor to keep meeting operations as close to our standard procedures as possible. However, use of this platform will necessitate some additional meeting protocols. Folks from the public or who wish to comment, use the raised raised hand feature in Zoom, and applicants or folks who are representing projects will be promoted at the appropriate time during the agenda so that they can participate in the meeting. And one important difference from in-person meetings is that all votes need to be by roll call, and the way we handle it in this commission is I generally call in people, then they restate their name and their vote or whether or not they're present. So that's the remote meeting procedures. And then we also have to do a roll call attendance. So if you'll bear with me, I'll call in folks, and if you could let me know you're here. Early.
Here.
Okay, and Spencer.
Here.
And Marsh.
Here.
Okay, and Hans.
Here.
And Mr. Bishop.
Here.
Okay. Then next up is a motion and a second and a vote to designate our alternate member, Bob Bishop, as a voting member for this meeting.
So moved.
I'll second it.
Okay, Spencer seconded.
Early, aye.
Thank you.
Spencer, aye.
Marsh, aye.
Hands, aye.
Bishop, aye.
Great. Thank you for remembering your order. That is really helpful. Okay, and then we have, thanks to our humble scribe, Kathy Reynolds, who's also here tonight, we have review and acceptance of the November 24th, 2025 minutes. Do I have a motion and a second to accept the November 24, 2025 minutes?
Motion.
Motion. And thank you, Kathy.
Okay, I think that was that Marsh as a first?
Me, Tim.
Okay, Hurley is the first, Spencer is the second. Thank you. And if you remember your order.
Early, aye.
Spencer, aye.
Marsh, aye.
Hands, aye.
Bishop, aye.
Fantastic, thank you. And then next up, we have a 6:30 posted public hearing. And I just remembered that we are also supposed to read the public hearing notice into the record. So let me open that. It might take a few minutes. So the way that works, as a reminder for folks at home, is that Tim would call us to order. The applicants will, present the project. There'll be some discussion, and then we will have a motion and a second. No, I don't want to do a chat with Copilot. My God. And then a vote. So we do have to open and then motion and second and vote to close the public hearing. So if you will bear with me a minute, it's for 135 Elm Street. Tim, if you want to call that public hearing to order, please.
Yes, please. Let's open the public hearing for 135 Elm Street.
Perfect. And it is 6:40, 135 Elm. And let me promote the folks I see here. We've got Lynn Spencer. And I'm not sure who else might be here from her team.
Lynn may know.
Lynn. once Lynn gets her audio activated, she can tell me who else is here. I think Alexandra Everts might be from Yankee Steeplejack, I believe. I also see a second Lynn Spencer, so let me promote that.
So Tim, can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, thank you, because that second Lynn Spencer was the key here.
Okay.
Because I can see my screen, but I cannot, my sound system isn't working.
Oh my goodness. Lynn, who else is here from your team? We've got,
Okay, so
yeah.
I think Ali Ott is probably on the list,
And that shows up as Alexandra Everts, I think.
possibly.
We'll assume that's true. And then we also have an Edward Mole.
Ed Mall, yep, our structural engineer, he's here. And possibly Tom Everts.
Lynn, this is Allie Ott, formerly Everts. Tom is very under the weather tonight,
Okay.
so he's unable to join. But I'm happy to relay any messages to him.
Perfect, thank you, Ali. And possibly Ollie Ames.
No.
No, okay. All right.
I will
well,
try Ed Mole again.
Okay.
That seemed to have worked.
That's great.
Excellent. So Tim and Lynn, I'm not sure how we want to handle this. People, for the benefit of folks at home or watching, I did send advanced materials earlier to the group. And the project here is 135 Main Street. It's the Ames Gate Lodge, which is in the Ames Local Historic District. It's across from Town Hall. It's a very significant H.H. Richardson building. And the work proposed is stabilization and restoration, I believe, of a western roof feature. And Lynn, you had sent a presentation. Tim, would it make sense to just launch into that?
Yeah, I think so. Describe the project, if you will, and what was found, and if there's a structural engineer involved, just how deep that went. I think you've already got it staged anyway, Lynn. Am I correct?
Well, actually, Tim, we have shoring there. We actually put in
kidding.
shoring to help support that gable.
Yeah, that's a crazy
Yeah.
opening there. Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, folks, I'm sorry if I could interject. I was moving a little too fast, and I believe we are legally required to read the public hearing notice. I'm sorry for the
Yep.
paperwork.
Go ahead,
The
Wayne.
Easton Historical Commission will hold a public hearing on Wednesday, January 7th, 2026 at 6:30 p.m. to be held remotely to consider an Ames Local Historic District Certificate of Appropriateness application for the restoration and repair of the projecting conical roof on the west side of the Ames Gate Lodge at 135 Elm Street in Easton. This hearing is being held in accordance with Local Historic District Bylaw, Chapter 152 of the Code of the Town of Easton. The virtual meeting link will be contained within the Historical Commission agenda posted on the town website at least 48 hours in advance of the meeting, signed by the members of the Easton Historical Commission, and it was posted by the clerk's office about 3 weeks ago, actually. So that is the public hearing notice. Thank you for that interjection. Lynn, should I try to do a share screen with your presentation? Would that be helpful?
That would be wonderful. If you will actually run it, I'd be happier because.
Okay, I will try to do that. With a caveat to the whole group, several months ago, I had a bit of a traumatic experience doing a share screen with this home computer for a different board, and it shut down the entire Zoom meeting. We're not sure why. So if for some reason you find the Zoom meeting has been canceled, I will start it back up again, and please do log back in.
Okay.
But with that caveat.
Okay, well, thank you, Tim. That's a very good caveat, and I'm having tough technical difficulties too, but we'll wade through it. So if you can just put it up on the screen while you're doing that, I will just say this is the amazing Ames Gate Lodge from 1880 to 1881. It is one of the wonderful works by H. Richardson that grace the town of Easton. I've had the team that's involved here is the same team that was recently involved with the restoration of structural problems at the Oaks Ames Hall, another one of Richardson's wonderful masterpieces. So with me tonight are Ed Mall from Structures North, as well as Allie Otts from Yankee Steeplejack, who is the contractor for this project. Ed is the structural engineer. I and my firm are serving as project managers for this project. We were asked to join the team by Ollie Ames, part of the Langwater estate, to coordinate the project. So you are seeing the Gate Lodge looking towards the street. Across the street is the town offices, which our firm was involved with as well. The project started, quite honestly, in the summer of 2024, when Historic New England was doing their tour related to the preservation restriction that is held on this property. So it's important to note that in addition to being in the historic district, it also has a very detailed preservation restriction held by Historic New England. They observed, and if we can go to the next image, maybe. They observed that this overhanging gable had started to show evidence of some separation from the building. And maybe if you go to the next image, and if you look carefully, you will see a seam appearing as the hooded gable sort of joins the main roof. Thank you, Wayne. You're seeing that actually the red tiles that form this roof are actually separating, and that's because the whole thing is settling. That prompted Mr. Ames and Jack, who is the project manager or the project steward, if you will, of the Langwater estate, to reach out to Ed Mall at Structures New England, at Structures North. And that then began what has now taken over a year to actually develop, which is to first analyze why we're seeing the settlement, and then secondly, to come up with a preservation approach that is consistent with the Secretary of the Interior standards, the historic district requirements, and of course that preservation restriction that I mentioned earlier. Now, of course, if you look at the next image, you'll see also look up into this overhanging gable, and you will see that there's a lot that is going on here, and there's a lot that is being actually supported by the roof framing, which had started to settle and actually pull away. Now, Ed Mall has done a very detailed report on why he thinks the settlement has occurred. But one of the things that he has said, which I think is very telling, he says, quote, "The hooded eave overhang framing never had good load path for support from the beginning." So you could say that this was an inherent problem that took time to actually express itself, and it expressed itself by what gravity does. It sort of started pulling it down. If we go to the next image, you'll start to see, and I hope you had a chance to review this report, but Ed does, I think, a masterful job of both describing the gable and its condition, also while admiring the structure, but also analyzing what can be done to both arrest the deterioration and then take care of it on a long-term basis. One of the things that he observes, and many of you are involved with preservation work, one of the things that he observed was that cut nails in tension oftentimes don't have a long life. And he feels that part of the failure of this roof at the ridge, where the conical portion meets the gable, is the result of cut nails in tension. Now, of course, we in the preservation world love cut nails. We think, oh, how fabulous, an indication of the dating of the building and so on. But in this particular case, they're part of the culprit for the what we are seeing is a deteriorating condition. The approach we're taking here, and if you just actually scan through this a little bit, Wayne, we're taking the approach that we should not only see that we need to take steps to not only arrest the problem and document the problem, but of course take a long-term approach on this. And these images of the roof as well as the tension ring, I think, are very telling. You're seeing he actually points out where we've got problems with the tension ring. And that tension ring is really essentially holding those rafters together. It's not really structural, but it's actually part of the whole roof assembly. Moving on, more in-depth pictures. Moving on, we get to, okay, what are we going to do about it? So we reached out to Yankee Steeplejack as a firm that is experienced with this kind of work. We had worked with them on a very difficult project at Oaks Ames Hall, as I mentioned earlier. Tom and his team worked with Ed Mall and myself to come up with a detailed understanding of what to do about it, how much is it going to cost. So with that, you're looking at, that's looking up into that gable. You see that tension ring. Part of the real key here is actually replacing and reinforcing rafters that have deteriorated so they are in good contact with the main roof frame, as well as adding a aircraft cable to help with that reinforcement. With this, I'd like to just stop for a moment and ask Ed if he would like to add anything further at this point as we begin to sort of look into the preservation repairs. Ed, are you available? Nothing so far.
Oh, can you hear me now?
There you go.
I just
Okay, good.
I just had to unmute myself. Sorry about that. So you're looking at the framing plan of the roof. The things that are new, you got a new 3x8 rafter, which forms a gable that supports the peak, right? Can you see my cursor? Probably
Yeah.
not. You can? No, that's somebody
Yeah.
else's, I think. Anyways, where the brown, dark brown 3x8 rafters come up, that is a new sort of A-frame that supports a cable, a steel cable, that then goes down and ties into a new tension ring. And that new tension ring is laminated vertically instead of horizontally. And I think they're going to be making up that in Lowell's Boat Shop up in Amesbury. They're going to laminate that for us. There's a new anchorage of the tension ring back to the stone, which you can see the detail 5 on SKS 5.
You can just move that down, Wayne, because all those sketches are there.
Yeah, I don't know how fast. I don't know how much detail you want me to get into, but I mean, the idea is to not have anything really visible that's going to take away from the original construction, but at the same time, improve it and make sure it's stable for a long future. To do this work, the tiles, which are very heavy, I've got one of them in my office. They weigh about 7.5 pounds each. You have to take off all those tiles. They're going to number and document where they came from, where they're going to go back onto the roof. Once they get this all apart, they're going to do the new tension ring. They're going to do a new aircraft cable, and then there's also some steel straps that go over the hood and tie back into the main roof area. Do you have any questions on the details?
I do.
What's the new ring made out of? I know you said it's being laminated. What's that made out of?
I think it's fur, and it's very
Douglas
thin
fir.
Yeah,
All
it's
right,
Douglas
all right.
fir, and it's really thin laminations. I think they're 1/2 inch or 3/8.
Yes,
But
yeah.
it's got to bend in a pretty significant curve.
Is that stuff stained or painted, or is it left natural? Do you know?
It's painted,
Oh,
It's
all right.
painted.
So that'll cover up pretty much. You won't see it anyway.
right?
Yeah, I would guess stripping the roof is important I mean, now's the time to get a peek at everything, right? Go right
Mhm.
back to where it ties into the ridge there, or the roof
Right.
line. So minimal visual, the most important thing here is to get it back structurally. And I'm
Yeah.
shocked. I guess there's enough of a pitch there. What's the pitch on this thing?
12, I think.
Yeah, okay. So there's enough pitch. It never really experienced a snow load, I guess.
Yeah, just holding itself up. I think those toenails, cut toenails, eventually just let loose. I think I have a close-up picture of them all. Just
You could probably pull some of them out by hand at this point.
yeah,
Right? Yeah.
I would think so. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think that's great, provided minimal visual change, and all things considered, it's held up pretty darn well.
Mm.
When you look at some of this whole construction and it just lasted, but it's by today's standard, it's like, oh no, and somehow it's
Yeah,
made it this
it's
far.
crazy. I've never
So-
seen anything like it. When I see these boulders sticking out of the wall, I mean, it's just
Exactly.
absolutely amazing.
Yeah. All right. Cool.
Or the aircraft cable where it says led into the rafter and led into the ridge plate. Will there be? Are you gonna like do a router? Are you gonna like route out
Yeah.
a channel for it to lay in? Is that the idea?
Yes.
So the idea is there's no change to the appearance, the design, the footprint, or the materials. We actually had quite a debate about that tension ring and how to do that. And I think really Ed, by reaching out to the Lowell Boat Shop, really sort of said, yeah, we can do this in wood, and we can do it in a way that is a perfect replication in the form of the tension ring. We're just actually changing the orientation.
Yeah, that's
the splices.
It's very weak the way that it's built now, because there's frequent splices and it's in the weak axis of the wood, so it doesn't really act all together.
So are you replacing this whole thing here with
Yeah,
new?
the whole
Yeah.
thing.
Got it.
The whole thing.
and that's laminated anyway, right? So it doesn't. I mean, you're just doing another laminated product. It's just a better.
It's vertically laminated rather
Correct.
than horizontally laminated.
Yes.
And this doesn't act like a solid member, and when the new one is installed, it will act as a solid member.
Correct. Yeah. And as bad as it is, it only lasted how long?
Oh, yeah. It lasted for a long time. There's no question about that.
It's crazy. Yeah,
But gravity does what it does, Tim.
it does.
No, we call
Yeah.
it force of habit. It's used to being there, and it just wants to be there.
Yes. Yeah.
Force of habit.
I
But
guess
when
what
you
goes
when
up
you look at this
eventually-
when you look at this structure, I mean, you think about what Richardson conceived of and Norcross built. It's extraordinary because some of these boulders, look at them.
They are the whole. If you can stand back and appreciate the time as in the dates
Yeah.
that these things were built and what you're right, Lynn. It's crazy.
Yeah.
This was
So
supposedly.
I do want to assure you that is shoring. So that
Yes.
you may think that was staging, but that is
Yeah.
just shoring to hold
Right.
things in
Yeah.
place.
The story is, I forget which Ames's, I think Frederick Lothrop, I don't know, that they're sitting around and doodling on napkins with Richardson, and that's how this thing got established, was doodles on napkins. crazy.
Well, if you think about it, the Oaks Ames Hall was built 1879 to 1880. This is 1880 to 1881. And then, there's the train station and
The library's the
the
same time.
library.
Yeah. All 1880 stuff. Yeah.
Yep, all together.
Prolific, very prolific time.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So,
Anyone else want to talk? Questions?
I'm going to stop sharing the screen, see if there's anybody out in the public here. Hold on. Attendees. Okay, yeah, we're not missing anybody in the attendees, and I don't see anybody with their hand up.
He's right here.
We do very few of these public hearings, so we're a little rusty on our process, and I apologize.
Yeah.
I believe that the deal is we have a motion and a second to close the public hearing now that we've heard all the comments. Then the commission will deliberate and then vote on whether to grant a certificate of appropriateness per the plans and specs submitted.
Right. Yep.
So I think if we're done with all comments and the presentation, then would we, Tim, I think we have a motion and a second to close the public hearing.
Yes. Motion, please, to close this hearing.
I'll second.
Okay, Hurley, one.
Hurley, aye.
Yeah.
Spencer, I.
Marsh, aye.
Hands, aye.
Bishop, aye.
And that was at 7:02.
That sounds like a chess move. Hands eye to the bishop.
And then I guess, Tim, right, if the commission would deliberate and if there's no further deliberation, and if folks feel good about this, then I think it would be appropriate for a motion and a second to grant a certificate of appropriateness.
So any further discussion, questions, deliberations? Anyone have any questions at all? Hearing none, I vote that we close this hearing.
Yep.
Make a motion to close the hearing.
Yeah. The hearing's closed. This would be a motion to grant the certificate.
Yeah, grant certificate.
Told you we were rusty.
Yeah, motion to grant certificate appropriateness.
Second.
Okay,
Hurley, aye.
Hands too.
Spencer, I.
Marsh, aye.
Hands, aye.
Bishop, aye.
Thanks, guys.
Great, thank you. Lynn and the rest of the project team, the process from here for us, thank you again for your time for coming in tonight. I will, in the next few days, put together that certificate of appropriateness, which is essentially a letter, and it will reference the plans and specs that you submitted as part of your application, and that will become part of that certificate.
Lynn,
Yes,
any complications, everything, please come to us.
sure thing.
All right, appreciate it.
I think
Do you
I
have a
have your
sense of-
cell phoned him.
Yes, yeah, that hasn't changed. Thank
Do you
you.
have a sense of when you might be able to start work?
Well, Allie,
Yeah,
are you
we're
there?
hoping to start as soon as possible. I know that there's some work to remove the main piece, and we'd like to get moving on that as soon as possible so that the boat shop can start to make the replacement piece.
Yeah, that's the tension ring. And we also had a walkthrough with Jack Mawet just to look in the attic area to get things cleared out so they can actually work in that area easily.
Yeah, and of course,
Good.
all obviously weather dependent, being January.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Very
sure.
weather dependent, but yes.
Yeah.
It's going to take a while to do that tension ring. So I think that's why we would really like to get that. So that can be worked on over the next month or so. And then spring comes and we're ready to go.
Get you out of the weather woods anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool. All right. Great. Good to hear from you, Lynn.
It's good to be in your room.
Yes. All right. So we're all set there. Thank you.
Take
Take
care.
care.
Thanks
Take
so
care.
very
Bye,
much,
everyone.
folks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, bye.
All right. And then next up on the agenda, and this is not a public hearing, it's just part of the public meeting. It's going to be the roof replacement at 56 Main Street. And here we've got property owner Amanda Ryan and contractor Joe Frazier. So Amanda and Joe, I'm going to promote you to panelist here. Thank you for your patience. There we go. Oh, and Amanda has declined. Joe has declined to be promoted as panelist. Oh, this makes it a little fun. Joe. So when I do the promote to panelist, I think you have to accept it on your end.
Yes. Oh, you're talking to them?
Yeah. All right. Well, so Joe, I've allowed you to talk.
All right. Can you hear me?
I can,
Yeah.
and Amanda, I've allowed you to talk as well.
Yeah, I think you just have to navigate to accepting that.
Yeah, so let me do the promote to panelist again. And then when that comes in, you accept it. So Amanda Ryan declined to be promoted to panelist. Let's see if we have any better luck with Joe. And Joe, you also declined. Yeah, I'm not sure what's up with that, but Joe, Amanda, we can hear you and you can hear and see us.
Yes.
Hi, how are you?
Oh, good. How are you tonight?
Great.
That's probably sufficient, for the meeting. I don't think we necessarily need your video on.
We didn't see the last panelist, so I don't know.
Yeah, it's if you can see my.
We can see the historic commission, but
yeah. So here's me. Here's my screen, and then I don't know. Let me see. Oh, never mind. Yeah, very strange. Okay. Yeah, but whenever I try to promote you to panelist, it automatically declines. But it's really not an issue, I suppose, for tonight. Yeah.
As long as we get audio, we're okay.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So, 56 Main Street. Tim, Joe, Amanda. So this comes to us. 56 Main Street is, parts of it likely date back to the 1700s. Exterior, changes, siding, windows, roof, etc., need to come to the commission for review and approval. And Tim noticed that the roof had been replaced quite recently, so reached out to Ms. Ryan and Mr. Frazier, and they submitted an application, and they're here tonight to talk about the roof work and also potential future work on the building. And also we'll point ahead to the site visit tomorrow at noon at the Children's Museum, and then around 12:30 we should be able to make it over to 56 Main Street.
Right.
So that's the overview. Tim, I don't know if you have anything to add.
Well, I don't know what came first, the permit or the roof.
Certainly the permit.
Okay, so Wayne had discussion with the property owner prior to the roof, and I think, Wayne, you had told her that we weren't sure if it would be cedar shingles or asphalt shingles, fiberglass shingles would be required on replacement, and that we should speak beforehand. That did not happen. Luckily, the roof that went on there is fine. It's, cedars were the original. I guess we were real sticklers. We would want cedars, but not in this situation. It's not that big a deal. What's kind of the big deal is the skylight is gone. The skylight was original to the original house. Not the skylight itself was not original, but the placement of it, the location of it was original, and it had been replaced not that long ago to be a placeholder for that. So it's important that a skylight be put back in that place. It is part of the exterior, which is under our control. So the same size, everything should go back in that place.
Not a problem.
Okay. So these are, so this is the oldest house in the area. Ed, you can correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know if there's anything nearby.
It is often said to be the second oldest house in town.
Right. So we're gonna hold your feet to the fire here. Be aware of that. Hopefully this does not come surprise to the homeowner that you're gonna have to toe the line here. Go ahead.
We made a point to visit the building department and Wayne prior to this to this application, and I think what happened was my office submitted a building permit. The permit was issued, but certainly didn't mean to step on anybody's toes. Had we, we should have filed for the certificate of appropriateness, but we were in a bit of a bind there. The place was leaking quite badly on the rear of the building. You'll see that tomorrow.
Okay. Yeah, again, luckily, we didn't want to go back to CETA, which is costly.
Right. There was a asphalt roof. We did a little research back in 2007. So.
Oh no, I know it was there, but it was part of a restoration project putting CETA shingles on there. It was trying to put it back to the way it was, so it wasn't by mistake that CETA shingles ended up there. But the application wasn't too good, so.
Yeah, it was leaking quite badly.
Yeah. So, that being said, I think that puts the roof behind us, provided the skylight goes back in. And do we want to move on to the rest of Wayne? The rest of the I don't know what the
maybe if I could maybe summarize. As I mentioned to Mr. Frazier and to Tim, we have a recent update to our online permitting system. Previously, properties in the local historic district were flagged in a very colorful manner. The new version, it's just a small checkbox, so the building inspector did not notice that this was a local historic district building when this application came in. He's very apologetic. So thank you all for coming before us tonight. I think, Tim, maybe we could have a little conversation or a motion and a second to grant a certificate of appropriateness for the asphalt shingle roof as per the plans and specifications submitted, which would be what? The Certainty, the Landmark series. And what color is that? Is it Colonial Slate?
It is Moray Black.
Moray Black. Okay, Moray Black. Thank you. Landmark series Moray Black. Contingent upon reestablishment of the skylight in the previous location.
Correct.
And so I hear from you, Mr. Frazier, that you do plan to put a skylight back in that location. Do you have a sense of when you might be able to do that?
I can do it sooner than later. We'll get it right on it.
Okay. So Tim, if it makes sense, we could do a motion and a second to grant a certificate of appropriateness for the asphalt shingle roof as per the plans and specifications submitted, with the condition that the skylight be reinstalled in its previous location.
Right. This doesn't have to be a functional skylight either. I imagine you'd want it to be functional, but it does not have to be.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so Tim, would we have a motion?
Yeah, certificate. Okay. Yeah, motion to accept the plans.
Tim is a motion. Do we have a second on that?
As amended for the skylight.
I'll second.
So that's a motion. Okay.
Thank you.
Hurley, aye.
Spencer, aye.
Marsh, aye.
Hands, aye.
Bishop, aye.
And then, thank you all for that. And then I think the second thing is, obviously Ms. Ryan is converting this into or back into a private home, which involves a fair amount of interior work, which is not really subject to historical commission purview. But exterior elements, the roof, any new openings, the siding, and the windows and the doors would be subject to commission review. And I know there's some thoughts and perspectives on the windows and their historic nature. How old are they? How original are they? And what condition they are in. And so, speaking with Tim and with Mr. Frazier, we thought that a actual site visit, so members of the commission could see the building and understand just what we're talking about, would be helpful before we start discussing specifics on what to do with the windows.
Yes.
Okay.
There's one other item, and I just don't want to forget it in the conversation, is the chimney and fireplace is very important that remains.
Yes.
That's the old, yeah, the old beehive fireplace is just, one of a kind at this point.
And that's still inside, Tim, to your knowledge?
Yes. Yeah.
It's my favorite piece of the entire property.
Excellent.
Oh, cool.
Thank you.
Good.
Okay. We're in agreement there. Thank you. All right. So we will be out tomorrow to take a look.
Yeah, that'll be very helpful. We look forward to it.
Yeah. Give you some guidance, Ms. Ryan, some guidance, and know where we stand, moving forward. So,
We don't.
again, we're always available. Somebody's available. So if there's ever any questions here as we move along, but let's plan on. We'll see you folks tomorrow, 12:30 or so. And Wayne, is there anything else you wanted to add to that? Or?
No, I think that's it. We've got the Children's Museum at 12, and then however long it takes us, and then we can just walk over. So
Yeah.
it could be 12:30, it could be closer to 1 o'clock. We don't want to keep people hanging around too long.
Right.
No, I'll be there anyway, so there's no rush.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah,
We
appreciate
expect we expect lunch, by the way. that would give everybody to come at least.
Yeah.
That's
We
good.
do not, to be very clear, no, we do not expect lunch. But no, thank you all for being able to accommodate this.
Yes.
And, so I think, Tim, we're done with tonight's business.
Yeah,
for
I think
6
so.
days?
Yeah, we closed that. We gave them the certificate, so we're good there.
So, okay.
Appreciate it. Thank you for your time.
All right, thank you.
Thank
We'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you all.
Thank
Thank you.
And,
So is it time to make a motion to adjourn?
Whoa.
I
Whoa.
think
Ed's got his
that's
agenda.
it.
up.
Yeah.
I'll second it if you're making the motion.
I got one quick question, Wayne. I know I missed a few due to some work stuff, but the house on Prospect Street that Easton Roofing is treed the lot and tore the house down. Did that go before us? Just for appropriateness?
I don't know the property you're talking about.
I believe it's on the corner of Salt Marsh and Prospect Street. I know it's not in the district, but it was a nice little house, and all of a sudden it's gone, and the lot's been treed. Easton Roofing has got all their equipment over there.
He wouldn't do that.
You know the address?
Off the top of my head, I'm sorry, I don't know the exact. Like I said, I believe it's right beside Salt Marsh Drive there in Prospect Street.
I'm on the town website. I'm trying to find where that might be, looking at the
It's just
maps.
where Prospect comes into Purchase. I'm sorry, Purchase Street. Where Prospect comes into Purchase, it's
Prospect.
right in that area.
Let me see. Central Depot, Purchase,
Prospect.
Depot, Church, Purchase.
Is it right near you, Bob?
Yeah, it's out actually out behind me. If you came out of Prospect Street and took a left onto Purchase, it's right there on the right.
All right, I'm at Washington and Purchase.
You know where the Pills the bread guy used to be years ago?
Here's Prospect and Purchase. All right, hold on a second, guys.
Right near the cornfield and they put 3 houses up there. There was
Can you see my screen?
yes.
Oh.
So here's Purchase and here's Prospect. Where are we talking about?
Take a left and go up 2 or 3. It should be right there on
The right-hand side?
yes, on Prospect.
On
I'm sorry,
Prospect.
on
Purchase.
Purchase
I will
Street.
buy this.
yeah.
Isn't that the old Curry mink farm?
Yes. That was Curry's old house, I think.
Exactly, yeah. So the question is it over 75 years? And if it was, we should have done a review.
That's what I
Right.
wasn't sure, and that's why I was just questioning.
Wait,
I'm on
it's
the site too. It
prospect
looks like
or
it's
purchase?
It's in
It looks like
Purchase
it's
Street.
166 purchase.
Purchase.
Okay, so it's not Prospect. It's not 3 up on Prospect. It's on Purchase.
Purchase.
Yes.
Yeah.
This one?
Right past Sweet Meadow Drive. No,
Yes.
Past.
one more up.
One more up.
I think is the one that he's talking about.
Yep.
This one?
It was kind of a shack, wasn't it? And was it kind of?
Well, it was a real small house.
Yeah.
The question is, how
No,
old was it?
I'm with you.
Yeah.
I'm with you. I'm with you.
It was overgrown for a long time, and then somebody had cleaned the lot up and made it look nice. And now all of
Yeah.
a sudden, it's been treed and taken down.
That one?
No,
Okay.
no, it was a little. It was a
Well,
small
it was
little.
a little, was it 1 story?
Yes,
I would say
yeah, it looked
so.
like a 1-story ranch.
Well, here's Sweet Meadow. Here's another bit of Sweet Meadow.
That might be it right there.
Yeah.
That one? 166.
Yeah,
I think it was on the corner.
yeah.
That?
Close to it, yeah. Either that or the next one too.
Well, that's the picture that we got on the property card.
Yeah, but we're not sure that that's the right property.
Yeah. We,
1946 is the build date.
That's
So
about
it's-
right.
75 years old.
So there's that one.
Yeah, take a look at that one just to make sure.
There's this guy. 162. Come on. Property card.
No, I
That
think
ain't
you're
it.
going.
Go with
I
the
think you're
other one.
going the wrong way. I think you need
Yeah.
to go on the other side of Sweet Meadow.
Well, there's 2 Sweet Meadows.
Right.
We've done this one. We've done this one.
You want to go back the other direction.
We've done this one. We've done this one.
Keep
I'm
coming.
thinking this one.
Buy
Yeah,
that one.
All right.
yeah, 'cause that looked like a deep lot.
Yeah, and a fairly narrow one. Nope.
No.
Nope. All right. So you had it before, I think, Wayne. You had
One, yeah, one,
the one back towards Sweet Meadow.
yeah.
So well, if you went back into in permits, you could probably find it from the building inspector's office what number it is.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
this
not a
is-
fantastic picture, but
Yeah.
it does meet the standard of being overgrown.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, 1946.
That shows previous owner someplace, doesn't it?
It should do, yeah. Here they
Yeah,
are.
so this is the one here. It's the Curry's Mink Farm. There it is, right there. Yes.
100% right.
So as a mink farm, you know, it's rather unusual, or was rather unusual. So it might have been a building we would have thought about preserving, but it has no unique architectural feature.
Yeah.
On the other hand, I'm a little concerned that's 2 houses in a row that have been missed by our building inspector.
That's not to cause instigation trouble, but that's one reason why I brought it. And I knew that Easton Roofing had that other issue where they kind of looked the other way a little bit and then called after the fact. So
Yeah, they tore the whole thing down except for one wall because the electric
yeah,
attached to it.
Yep.
that's kind of why I brought it to the attention tonight.
Right.
I mean, I know I missed a few because I had to work, but
No, but you know, if we don't do this, guys and girls, if we're not vigilant, diligent, this stuff just gets done. Like the skylight and the roof, we need that, Bob. Anybody goes around, anybody that sees it, it's kind of the see something, say something is the bottom line here.
yeah.
Because nobody else is the watchdog here. Everybody just goes from point A to point B with their head down. And so thank you.
Yeah, and your automatic permitting thing seems to have some glitches in it. Which
Yes,
is
it does. I
encouraging
found out the
because
hard
that
way.
means the robot overloads are not going to be taken over right away, but maybe we could clear that up. You did note on one of those there that the old form used to flag it in a bright color that even a building inspector could see, and now it is a little checkoff box, and maybe that's
Am I correct in recalling from the past that any application that went to the building department was supposed to run through us also, no matter what it was? Did I
No.
recall that from previous?
no
Okay, I thought that-
only thing that's 75 years old.
Okay.
And maybe that's something you need to put on the agenda when Wayne and I have talked about this, and I actually did some statistical research. We're about to be inundated by houses that are 75 years old,
Yeah.
because that's when the building boom first started, and we need to think about how we're going to handle that.
Well, it's the post-World War II. It's the ranch.
Yes.
Which,
And we may find ourselves in the position of having to review every mass-produced ranch house, and there are two schools of thought. Should we try to study if there are any actual significant post-war neighborhoods that are intact, or should we just we only review things built before 1950?
Yeah, here's my house, for instance. It was built in 1955, and it's not part of a subdivision or anything like that, and it's certainly not unique other than the fact it hasn't fallen down yet. And on the other hand, up off of Coughlin Road and Western Avenue, that was an intact neighborhood. Hollis Road is another one off of Central Street. We could begin to think about designating certain areas for houses that are, I don't know, less than over 75 years, but less than 85 or whatever. There are a lot of those damn houses.
yeah, and that's, you said that they used to be intact. Either when a ranch comes up for sale, it gets knocked down immediately, gets bought and knocked down, or gets a second floor added to it. That's like automatic.
Yeah, that's what's happening up on Western Avenue and Coughlin.
Correct.
Yep.
And it used to be those with a low income, they would move, they would.
We like to call those starter houses, Tim.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, and they were able to be kicked down the road to the next buyer as affordable, and a
Yes.
starter, and a starter, and a starter, and a starter. But as Easton's rolled over, so those houses go, they're gone. It's a lot. They just look at it as a buildable lot at this point. The house is, non-existent. So we
Prospect Street at Howard Street. They raised that on a foundation that had gone before us quite a while ago. Correct?
Yeah, a long time ago.
1700s
I
house,
thought
yeah.
so. Yeah.
yeah, they
I
slid that
noticed
over.
that they
yeah.
had that up on Jack's.
Yep, that's ready to go, which is good.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool.
Thank you.
All right, Wayne and I have kicked that around, and you and I have discussed it. So yeah, we need to get together at some point and decide it's either do or don't, I guess.
Yeah, I think there are three general thoughts with that one that I have. We only do demolition review applications for buildings built before 1950, for example.
Mhm.
If we want to consider buildings built since 1950, then we should be really mindful about what the criteria are, if we're really going to be serious about that, and narrow it down, so that we don't get inundated with every single building in Easton. And then the third big thing is the political and public outreach component of it. If
Yeah.
the commission determines that it wants to tell people that they can't put a big addition on or a second floor on or replace a 1965 split level, then that'll I think
Well,
we should think about that. And
could we
go ahead?
could we get guidance from MHC? We're not unique. We're not unique. I don't know if they've encountered it.
I don't know. I mean, I think it would be, you do a survey of your post World War II stuff, and see if there are any significant subdivisions or areas, if there's some sort of objective criteria, and then if there are, then you think, what is your public messaging? I think
I like the idea that you mentioned where maybe not an individual house. One of the criteria should be not an individual house, but the context that it's in.
Well, you're right. You gotta capture a neighborhood. You wouldn't just it wouldn't just be a house unless it was a
but
Frank
then
Lloyd Wright or something.
neighborhoods are made of individual houses, and so I'm buying this dumpy little ranch and I'm going to make it better, and I'm told I can't. So I think it's thinking through what the criteria are and what the public education component of it would be.
So I think we need to workshop this. We're not going to solve it tonight.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we absolutely do.
No, and we need part of that workshop is a public hearing. I mean, if it ever went to town meeting, then we'd know it's yay or nay if we ever got that far.
Yeah.
One other thing that we need to look at is the state has certain, you can make a historic district, you can have a preservation restriction, you can do this, that, the other thing. We're proposing something new, and as Tim points out, I think it would be good to maybe do some research to find out what other towns have done. That's what we did when we first put in our demo review, and we made some.
Check around, see.
Yeah, because other towns, Easton is not unique in having this demolition review bylaw, and everybody's coming up against the post-World War II.
Wayne, something came down from MHC within 2 years, I'm going to say, discussing this. I don't know if you remember it. If something came through that they see this coming, or they've seen it coming, or they're
right.
cognizant of it, and that I think if somebody gets in touch with MHC, they may say you're the 20th town that's asked us, and we don't have a solution. You want to start the solution? Okay, you guys, dip your toe in there and get going.
The other thing, if you're going to make a list of criteria, I hate to harp on a mink farm, but they're relatively unique, and they represent a certain era of economic development in Massachusetts. Al Povos, who's like 94, it was like his brother-in-law, and so he has lots of mink farm stories, and how it was sort of a unique business. So we don't want to, just because it's a shitty ranch house like mine, doesn't necessarily mean that it shouldn't be preserved. That there are other criteria that even the Macris forms recognize.
Right.
Like the house we're going to be seeing tomorrow. That's perhaps the second oldest house in town, but it's it's not the Gate Lodge.
No, by any means. But again, you just the fact that it still exists, you know, that's where it earns its merit, is there.
Yes, and I had a homeowner today come up to me and ask me in the district, asked me about window replacements, and I said, well, I think it was they were probably 6/6 from the time of your house, but you have to come to the historical commission.
If they're in the district, yeah.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
Yep, it's a Pond Street house.
Oh, geez.
And you know the owner very well. So.
Oh, Fred?
Yeah.
What a beauty. Those are some original windows, too, I believe.
Yeah.
So, God. Well, I'm down to 10% here, so. Ed, you made a motion,
right.
and then you totally destroyed it.
Yes.
It wasn't me.
We had a motion from
it
Ed
was
and a second
Bob,
from
and thank
Amy.
God for
It was
Bob.
me. I'm the one that caused. I'm the one that
Yeah.
caused trouble on that one. So I'll
All right.
second Mr. Hand's motion to
All right.
To adjourn.
to adjourn.
Okay, a motion to adjourn at 7:36.
Hurley, aye.
Spencer, I.
Marsh, aye.
Hands eye.
Bishop, aye.
Awesome. Thank
Thanks,
you,
guys.
everybody. And hopefully we'll be able to see everybody tomorrow at the Children's Museum at noon.
Sounds good.
Thank you.
Then.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
See you tomorrow.
Bye-bye.
Thank
Thank
you.
you all. Take care. Have a great night.
You too.